Welcome everyone to the Rebel Nation podcast again. I am Rebelfan69 and my co-host across the aisle over there is the Metal Reb, and together we make up the Rebel Nation Conversation podcast. Metal, how you doing this weekend, man?
Wonderful, man. Wonderful.
Not a lot going on. Did I miss
Not a
any?
lot going on yet. Just a normal weekend, right?
Yeah, the holiday. You had a holiday in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanksgiving, had a good Thanksgiving. Won the Egg Bowl Friday.
Yeah, that's what we
Other than that, pretty quiet.
pretty
You know.
quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, right here is where we should be discussing the 38-19 win over the Mississippi State Bulldogs, but instead we kind of going to have to jump right in some of this Lane Kiffin stuff, right?
Yeah.
Big news, obviously, out of Oxford. This happened today, well, late last night, early this morning. Kiffin out, effective immediately, and by many reports, he was kind of threatening staffers that if they want to work for him at LSU, that they had to leave with him today. Get on the plane. Go today. But kind of in a shocking turn of events there, that didn't happen like he wanted it to, I don't think. And obviously, I had a bunch of notes put together here. We was going to talk about hot board candidates and all that, and that kind of, well, I don't know, man. Things moved fast. I know how you kind of felt about Pete Golding as defensive coordinator, but Ole Miss promotes Pete to the new head coach. We ain't talking about with an interim tag on, permanent. So, how does that make you feel? Well,
I mean, I don't understand how you can make the move permanently. Putting the interim tag on him makes sense, but to just go ahead and just say this is our guy. But on the other hand, who else? Who else is left? Anybody we could have been interested in is already off the board. So just a tough spot all the way around. Thanks, Lane. And we're just, I guess, playing the hand that we've been dealt. It's the first time Lane Kiffin's ever heard no from Keith Carter, I think, and it's just shocked him. But it's very, very clear that this was his plan all along.
well,
This was what he. I read somewhere today, I believe Chase wrote that when the Florida job came open, he knew he was gone. And then when the LSU job came open, he knew he had options. So this ain't something he prayed about last night. What a joke. But he knew he was gone, and this was his plan all along, to leave and still coach his team through the playoffs. And he
what a great
can't understand. Yeah, he just can't understand why that's a bad idea. Yeah, he can't get it. And of course, everybody that I've seen, different message boards and everything, everybody understands it except for one group.
Yeah. Right now, like I said, the ESPN, and more notably, kind of Neil pointed this out, I believe, earlier today, it might have been Chase, I can't remember. More notably, the CAA clients at ESPN were the ones that, I mean, good Lord, God, they're pushing they are heavily pushing Lane as the good guy here, and Ole Miss is he's a victim. And
He's the victim. And then he come out in his statement and called Keith by name, said Keith wouldn't let him coach.
Yeah.
Tough spot for Keith, man. I think he done as well as.
Man, I got to tip the cat to him, man. I think he handled it about as good as he could. And I mean, again, we couldn't let Ole Miss be the cuckolds in this.
You can't let the head coach of your rival coach your football team. In what world is that okay? it blows my mind that anybody wouldn't be able to see that.
Here's the thing I'm going to bring up, and it's been brought up before, and I'm sure you didn't. The irony was not lost on you. Nick Saban himself said the other day that Lane should be able to coach. And he fired him from Alabama when he took the FAU job.
Yep.
For the same purpose. I mean, the reason is you don't let a head coach at another D1 school, no matter if it is little old FAU down in Boca Raton, you don't let him coach on your team where he has access to your players, has access to your staff.
You just can't do it.
You can't do
You
that.
cannot do it.
Now, I mean, it was just so. That just really pissed me off when Nick Saban said that, because normally on game day, he's the voice of reason on that stage, and everything. But this whole Lane saga, man, anybody that's a Jimmy Sexton client has literally just went off the deep end trying to paint Ole Miss as the bad guy and Lane is the good guy.
What's crazy to me is Jeff Landry a few weeks ago all but called Jimmy Sexton out by name in the media, blasting him. And now Jimmy's sending his client down there to coach.
Yep.
It's just crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
Kind of like Moscana, huh? He several years ago he called him a fraud, a complete fraud. Now, man, you can't find a better person on.
Yeah, he's not a fraud now, is he?
No, they loving him. But I tell you what, like I told you earlier today in a text message, he's LSU's problem now. And,
yeah. It's going to crash and burn there. And it may take a couple of years. He may win to start with. I expect him to win. But eventually, at some point, it's going to come off the rails. Because that's what he does.
That's what I'm saying. He wanted Ole Miss, so he can win all he wants to.
Yeah.
He's still going to have that itch to leave. I just feel like he's a very nomadic guy, and he wants to leave. The problem is he can't be straight up about it. I think we'd have patted him on the back and said, I understand, Lane, if 3 weeks ago he says, man, I got to take this job, and let's us get on with our search and put somebody in place.
Yeah. And that's where I get upset. That's where the problems come in. If he wants to leave and go to LSU, I don't like it, but I understand that. There's not very many jobs like LSU. But just go. Go already. Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean, you can't do both. And that's what he wanted to do.
Well, for a little while there yesterday morning after seeing Moscano, however he says it, he said something on there about Ole Miss was backing him into a corner. And that LSU was willing to be the good guy here. And
right.
All the time in the world. But see, LSU knew that Ole Miss was applying the pressure when they were the ones that really had to apply the pressure. So for a little while, I kind of got on this, well, why not? Most of these players are mercenaries anyway. They're probably going to leave at the end of the year. Let's keep the main staff together, and let's do what we got to do. And if we can just make it through that first game, the round one game, then I think LSU has to apply the pressure at that point, because that puts the next game on the 31st. That's the quarterfinals. The first quarterfinal game is that, according to where we would end up, we might be on the first of on the January 1 playing a quarterfinal game. And if that was the case, the portal window opens the next day. LSU has to have a coach in place when that portal window's open. They just literally got to, or they don't hold on to some of the talent they have, and they don't get new out of the portal. They have to have somebody by then, and he couldn't actively coach. So I just kind of what I wanted to do is kind of flip the script, make them be the ones that applied we all knew he was gone. That ain't what I was trying to advocate for. Yeah. I was just trying to flip the script publicly That now LSU's the one that's having to apply the pressure.
So you thought they were bluffing?
No, not at all. I just wanted them to be the ones that had to apply the pressure, not Ole Miss. Because then we'd pick it out public. Well, we told him he could actually coach. Because if we were to win round one, then that puts us having to play either December 31st or January 1 in the quarters, and LSU could not have waited. They could no way could have waited for him to coach that game. They'd have had to have a coach in place, which means otherwise he would have had to coach for us, but not be able to talk to a single recruit about LSU. So that's the NCAA violation. He's under contract with us and cannot coach for them at all, not in any way, shape, or form. So I was wanting to just flip the script and make them be the ones that had to apply the pressure. That's what I meant by that. And I even made a solo podcast quickly just to kind of voice my deal, but it wasn't nothing about I don't think he would stay. I don't think none of that. I just felt like if we done that, it would be LSU forced it. We'd be forced in their hand.
What a mess.
Yeah.
So crazy. 11-1, getting ready to host a playoff game, and this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. We're going to get there. And I mean, whether we're hosted or not, it's kind of something to be seen now. That'll be talked about a little bit later on when we get down to CFP stuff there. I was going to bring that up, but you're right. I mean, me and you talked about last week. Can't even enjoy it. Best season we've had, mine in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Hell, in the history of the school. Never had 11. Well, we've only been playing 12 games a couple of decades. Yeah. So we really couldn't have had 11 win. But I mean, like during our heyday with Vault and everything, we couldn't have won 11 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
But again, I was all for the idea of maybe Judge taking an interim title and letting, but you think there might have been something here. We were mainly we could hold on to the most staff, the current staff, if we'd go with Golden.
But that still doesn't explain why you make it permanent. Yeah. Because from what Neil said, a lot of these guys that are staying are still going to be gone after the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a long. We ain't seen the contract, right? So we don't know what they've agreed to. But I'm pretty sure they ain't really hammered out the details yet. But I'm sure it ain't going to be too long term, and it ain't going to have too high of a down buy. We know we're not going to be paying him what we pay Lane. So
it feels like making the move this definite, this quickly, that they, over the last couple of weeks, they had already decided, Dr. Boyce and Keith, that if this thing goes sideways, Pete's going to be the guy.
Yeah,
that's not something they decided today.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of my feelings too. It had to be. This is a plan they moved on to.
Yeah.
All fast for it not to have already been talked about. To it already not have been.
Did you see it was in Neil's story. It wasn't just some random poster, but Pete told Kiffin last night, get his ass out of there and go home. It wasn't his office anymore.
No, I didn't. I missed out. There was so many threads flying around the other day. As I was trying to type notes up, stuff was changing.
Well, that was from Neil. Yeah. That came from Neil. He was watching the Iron Bow, and Pete told him, get out. That wasn't his office anymore.
So that was last night?
Yeah.
Huh. So it must have been after the meeting, after it had already been decided.
Yeah. But the guy's, he's not capable of leaving without destruction. I realize that now. Even a good situation like he just had for 6 years, it doesn't make any difference for him. He's just a destructive guy, and he's going to burn it down. And it's going to happen at LSU. Like I said, it may be 2 or 3 years, but at some point,
Like,
it's
Metal, I actually think he could win the national championship. All three, if he was there 3 freaking years, he could win 3 straight national championships, and he still wants to leave. He's nomadic. He's not happy. He's not going to be happy sitting in one place for very too long.
yeah,
Especially if Alabama ever decided to fall. But you know what? Alabama, they wouldn't have fell for this crap right here. They wouldn't have put up with this after seeing what Kiffin showed. The old was it Maya Angelou that said, "If someone shows you who they are, you believe them."
listen to him. Yeah, believe him.
I mean, he outright showed everybody exactly who he was. I got a few texts last night from my friends up in Tuscaloosa, man, and they were all, "Man, what are you hearing? What's going on?" This was before the announcement came out, and I said, "Man." Right now, I said he's definitely gone. I said they're just hammering out when he leaves. That's all.
Yeah,
So, in the end of the deal, the way it all played out, I'm not exactly 100% upset about it, especially after seeing that video or hearing that video of the team reacting when Pete's name was down. It sounded like, good Lord, I mean, they sound like they jumped up and went to screaming. I mean, and I actually feel better about the team's chemistry now than I have since all this began. Because we was
yeah,
getting conflicting stories there for a little while, weren't we? I mean, sometimes we was thinking some of these players ain't happy with Kiffin, and then next thing you know, they're all tweeting, "We want to finish what we started with our head coach." You know.
yeah.
Anyway, at the end of the day, come on, tell me what you think. I think that I think Keith whipped his out, and his was bigger. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
he
I
won the.
mean, he called his bluff. He called his bluff, and then Lane, being the petulant child that he is, started making the threats and stuff. And LSU, man,
Yeah. Anybody,
all
them,
people.
I mean, good Lord.
What a Judas!
There's only them or Mississippi State could have been the only two places he could ever choose. And,
What a Judas!
we normally have a little spot here about from the boards. Really don't have every dang thing on our boards for the last week has been nothing but what we've already discussed. But they did kind of drift over to the Florida side for a minute today, just kind of see what they're saying about John Sumrall. And I did notice one that just thought you might be particularly funny with. I don't remember the exact subject line, but it was, Ole Miss fans might can make fun out of us for missing out on Lane, but at least no coach at Florida has ever left when we're in the college football playoff. Has Florida ever made the college football playoff? That was the funny part about it. That was the gist. I said, man, this ain't quite the boast you think it is.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
it's just mind blowing when you think about it. 11-1, getting ready to host a playoff game, and he leaves.
And you're not happy. You're not happy there.
And he's putting it out. He's putting it out there. Pete Carroll
Helped him. I saw that.
helped him,
What
advised
was,
him to leave.
what was the exact quote I seen? Did he quote him as saying something?
Yeah, he told him to take it. Go for it. He told Lane he felt like Monty would tell him to take it.
I never knew
I
Monty.
I, I feel opposite.
I do too. I think Monty would have told him not to take it, and
Yeah,
I think Monty would have had to hang his head and freaking just shake his head at just the way he acted this whole entire time.
yeah.
I don't know. And did you catch that little video with Marty Smith at the airport? Hey,
I didn't want to watch it.
well, I
I
didn't want to
just,
watch it, but it was sent to me in a text message, and I got the first few minutes and or first few seconds of it. And literally, when he said he prayed on it and prayed on it, and this is where it led him. Uh, man, I'm sorry, I gotta roll on that one. I'm not gonna question a man's salvation or nothing like that. Uh,
man, that
but
dude wasn't praying over this.
I know he knew what he wanted to do last
He
week.
was, yeah, he wasn't no prayer if it crawled up his leg and bit him on the pecker. He don't know nothing. Don't get me going. Said he prayed about it.
And you saw his statement, and I think it was pretty much confirmed that that statement was written by Chat GPT.
Yeah,
Man, what a crock of shit! What a
we
mess!
know who he is, what he is. How many times, and I don't know how many people I told my brother over and over, and he can tell you. I said throughout the years, we are going to hate this guy when he leaves. But even me saying that, I had no idea that it would be this toxic when he left. No idea. I mean, like Chase said, this was just what the way he did Tennessee was just a mere understudy
Opening
compared
act.
to this.
Well, that was
Yeah.
just an opening act. I really liked what Chase wrote. It was right. I mean, 100% right. Um, and hey, well, we still got a few more minutes that we can kind of talk about Rebels here. Let's talk about the Igbo for just a second. We go down there, over there to Starkville, and literally it was. I mean, yeah, our defense bent, not allowed them to get some yards on us there and keep it kind of tight for a quarter. But then after that, I mean, I really didn't ever feel like we wouldn't win that ball game. Did you?
No, it was, we were in control of the whole thing. The second quarter was terrible, not a good quarter.
I think the third was
But
worse than the
I,
second. We
I
did
never,
score in the second.
are you sure?
Yeah, we scored
No,
right.
we scored.
The throw that he tapped his toe on the right.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Right before half. That's right. Right before half, we scored.
Or was it Stribley?
But yeah, we kept them at arm's length, and I never felt threatened.
I was telling you wrong. It's the other one under the left hand end zone. Deshaun Stribley.
Yeah, yeah, that was right before the half.
Half.
Stribbling,
Yeah, made it 21. What was it?
21-10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we scored in the second half. We didn't score at all in the third. Um, that was our worst quarter. But
we kicked a field goal in the third.
well, right, maybe so. But then I mean, I really thought Lacey would have a lot better game than he did. I mean, not that he had a bad one. He had a good game by all respect. But I mean, State was like last in the conference.
143 yards.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying it's bad, but I thought he'd go for like 250 against that damn
Well,
run defense. That
how
run
many
defense,
carries he get?
I don't know.
We were airing it out, man.
Yeah. And I tell you what, that one throw, that was absolutely a beautiful throw in the fourth. The last touchdown we scored, ran it.
Yeah,
And that was I mean, it was a pretty throw, but then he had to run it quite a ways, and he left people. Was that,
he turned on the Jets, didn't he, down that sideline?
I mean, there was 3 or 4 people trying to get to him, and you could just see the gap growing and growing and growing. What a
Yeah.
nice run.
I I met that kid after the Tulane game this year up there, and
Wallace?
Alexander,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do so.
and we saw his dad and spent some time with their family there after the game, and his dad is a professional trainer in Atlanta area, and they were great people, man, great people. But that I kind of felt like he should have got more targets this year. He's electric. But who you taking balls away from him. You know,
Yep.
we had a lot of receivers, a lot of productive receivers.
Obviously, our best position room it was, but I still think the difference maker this year than last was just having a running back that uh, could
Oh
produce.
yeah,
And and you know,
man.
we've talked about Bentley over and over again. He may could have produced if he gotten more carries last year, but we'll never know the answer to that. But this year we obviously had one that we could trust, know we could hand the ball off, and just the way he falls forward every time when he gets tackled, he may only get 3 yards, but at least that last movement is falling forward.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a running back right there. Show enough running.
And speaking of Bentley and last year and all that, have you seen that rumor thread that's on the site about about Lane and all the crap that happened to Kentucky wheat last year and just different rumors and stuff?
No, I hadn't saw that one. You have to link me on that one so I can.
The thread title says, "Can we talk about his personal life
Oh,
now?"
I did look at that some this morning, but I just didn't read every dadgum
Man,
bit.
it's 9 pages of rumors and stories and
Well, you know, I'm not going to mention the guy's real name. He was, pretty prominent in the Canadian Football League for years. Also helped run the Senior Bowl down in Mobile for years.
yeah,
Goes by Loves Oxford on the 247 board and on three. I think he actually even writes a little small column for Chuck and them over on three. He literally said something, and I had no idea because we're not from there, right? But I literally had no idea. Said we could have fired him for calls. Was it between the 20 and the 21 season, or right there after the 21 season? Everybody went to trying to hit him up. Hey, look, we don't know what you're
yeah,
talking about here. And then, of course, several other people talked on, well, if you're from around here, you would have, unless you're tone deaf, you wouldn't. I said, well, we're not. You know, we lived in Hattiesburg, Columbia. I spent a lot of time on the coast, but I'm not hearing a lot of that stuff down there.
yeah.
So there was definitely something went on, and this kind of led to his spiritual awakening and led him to
Well,
go.
they're just saying this decision to get healthy and all that stuff wasn't his choice, basically. And then man, there's been just some crazy stuff in that thread. You need to go back and read it when you get a chance. It's pretty entertaining. I don't know how much of it's true, but man, if just a fourth of it's true, it's pretty damning.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of like with the Hugh Freeze stuff. Me and you talked about that years ago, that we didn't hire him to be a choir boy or a Sunday school teacher. So at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was go out there and win football games, and he was doing it. And as long as he didn't, go to jail, get caught, but it seems like he did get caught, and a lot of things got brushed under the table. Um,
Yeah,
we're lucky, probably damn lucky he didn't kill somebody. The one rumor I
yeah,
did read about DUI that got uh, brushed under the table there, Oxford's a small town.
yeah,
So everybody knows Lane Kiffin, and they're going to do what they got to do to try to protect him, even the PD.
yeah.
And it ain't like getting caught in Tuscaloosa. Um,
I just can't wait till the first time he goes for it on 4th and 3 at his own 26 in the second quarter in Baton Rouge and
that
doesn't get it.
media over there in Baton Rouge ain't much different than, say, like the New York media. How brutal, and Philadelphia media, how
Yeah,
brutal they are with their professional sports. I mean, Baton Rouge is going to, and he had it. He literally could bully the Ole Miss beat.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were scared to ask him tough questions, and well, I don't know if that's fair. They did all they could, man. He was just an odd cat, man.
He was odd, but there wasn't no real reason to even ask him a tough question.
No, there wasn't.
I
There
think
wasn't. So
after
that's
Kentucky,
not fair to them.
after the LSU loss, after the Florida game, there should have been some, some questions asked. But at the same time, he'd won all these other games and done so good. You just didn't want to piss him off, and there
Yeah,
was no real reason to. But
55-19.
yeah, it's pretty good. And Baton Rouge, they ain't gonna care. They gonna ask him those questions. He's gonna be shocked first time they get in there and they start asking shit.
Yeah, 55-19. I'm not sure what his SEC record was, but it's pretty good too.
It'll be pretty damn good because I think it got better every year. Hell, we 7-1 this year in the SEC. That's
Yeah,
pretty salty. The last time that happened, Eli, wasn't it?
yeah, I know.
But we didn't go. We went 6-2 that year.
Yeah,
Lost that LSU game. So
let's see, 6-5. 18-6 in the SEC the last 3 years.
that's 750, ain't it? If my math is correct.
That's pretty good. 18-6 in the SEC over the last 3 years.
So that's 24 games.
Yeah, that's good. 75%.
750. So, all right, guys, we're nearing our 30-minute. Well, we're a little bit over the 30-minute mark. So, as usual, we'll break right here, and that'll end this segment of the show. Tune back in on Thursday. We'll air the second segment of this show as our episode 4. Until then, Rebel fans, hotty toddy.